Speed.
How's it been?
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 19.
19.
Podcast. Actually uploading 2 Sundays in a row. What a fucking wild world we live in.
Crazy, right?
Yeah. Also, I wanna start this off with a little experiment that's not gonna turn out in our favor, but it might be funny to make a bit out of. So at the end of every episode, I do the whole YouTube spiel where I'm like, thanks for watching, blah, 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 like, subscribe. I'm going to do that at the beginning of the episode. So anyone who's here right now, if you watch through this video and you like it, I'm going to let you know, subscribe now. So that maybe the couple of you that click on this and only watch the first 2 minutes might fucking subscribe. Listen, motherfucker, YouTube is a game. And we gotta
I gotta play. It for real is though. I love that's my favorite piece of data from YouTube's like little back end. I don't know if you don't know, if you don't upload to YouTube, there's a back end, like it gives you a bunch of like data you can look at. And there's like stuff that like I would not find useful in any universe, like what country your viewers are from. Like, I don't care. But one of the more funny to look at ones, or I guess fun, and it depends on your mindset. It could be demoralizing. For me, I find it entertaining. And it's, especially when I look back at a video and what did we talk about? And it's the average watch time, and it gives you a number for like how long people will stay in it from like beginning to end.
Yeah.
And the average for us, I believe, is like 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And if anyone has looked at the time length, it's an hour. So like very few people have watched the whole thing, which it's just how it goes. It's not like I'm not taking it personal or anything. But it's funny because I love looking back at other videos. I mean, like, what did we talk about in those 2-3 minutes? Because that's the most likely to be seen thing. And some of them are like just fucking stupid. And I'm like, I wonder why they clicked off.
I think it takes us a second to get in the groove of a really interesting topic that we get really passionate about.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, that's what we typically will theme our episodes around, like the thumbnail, the title. It'll be about like what we talk about in the middle portion. And nobody ever really gets to see that because they click off, because our starting topics are always super mundane and boring and just like whatever shit, just to get us talking and get us rolling.
Yeah, I think I want to try to break away from doing the whole "how's your day been?" Because our lives are boring, and we've stated this multiple times on almost all episodes. Most likely, we've said at one point that our lives or our days are boring, and so maybe we shouldn't start the first initial thing with what I did today, which was wake up after sleeping in really late and done nothing.
Let's start off with something hit and trendy, and nothing right now in the American world is more hit and trendy than football, because it's the playoffs right now.
Whoa,
and
playoffs.
There's playoff football going on. We're recording this on Sunday. The Rams and Buccaneers are finishing up their game as we speak. I'm not watching it because last night my team,
I saw the tweet,
Packers, was eliminated.
I saw that tweet and I was like, oof. I didn't even need to see the context of the tweet, because it was like, you said something along the lines of like, that was stupid or something. And I was like, I don't even need to know. I just know what happened.
Yeah. The Packers as a team, like, obviously we have Aaron Rodgers, who's amazing at throwing the football. We had Brett Favre. So we've had 30 years of like really good offenses, and it's always been our defense that has like sucked for us and just given up so many points that there wasn't really much we could do. This year, this game, our defense played fucking phenomenal. They led up 6 total points to the 49ers offense. Championship caliber performance out of our defense. and our offense shit the bed entirely. Our special teams was a joke, like it has been all season long. But it's a there. I'm not laughing because I'm genuinely like full of dread, but it's it's always interesting to see how the Packers can find new ways to fuck everything up come playoffs.
I a little part of me deep down every time there's a loss to the Packers gets a little like excited, not because they lost, but because you get to taste what it feels like for
Yeah.
me every season.
No, I
Just a
understand
taste.
it's I understand like it's very different levels right now, but I'm feeling the dread of like, oh fuck. I could feel this starting to happen. Cause like this season, Aaron's probably gone. He's probably going to retire.
Hmm.
Devontae Adams may or may not be gone. He's our other like top star player. And we are $40 million in debt, like over the cap limit.
Oh
So
no.
we're gonna have to start shedding contracts, getting people out of here, restructuring contracts. We are headed for a rebuild, and I'm feeling that like dread of like
I don't think.
because
Yeah. Uh-uh.
for my entire life, I'm 22 years old. I have lived through the end of the Favre era and the entire Aaron Rodgers era. We have always been playoff contenders. We haven't always made playoffs. We've had a couple down years here and there. We had a year where Aaron got injured, and we had a backup that couldn't win us games. Um, but we've pretty much always been playoff contenders. We hadn't gone longer than 2 years in a row without making playoffs. Uh, and now I'm feeling that like I don't know when the next time we're gonna make playoffs is. Because if Aaron's gone, if we start kicking, like if we have to start getting rid of players, we might be in for a rebuild. And like I still think we could end up getting making playoffs and winning the division maybe next year,
Hmm.
just because the rest of our division is also bad or rebuilding. But there's a lot of like nervousness and dread associated with the Packers' future for me right now.
I think, especially with most likely Aaron Rodgers dipping, you're probably going to reach a transitional couple of seasons where you're
Hmm.
dealing with weird shit. Like you're gonna have like I don't know. You'll probably draft someone for quarterback. I don't know if you'll shift
But we
like a
have
backup in place or something. But
we we drafted Jordan Love uh the draft before last, and that was like a hot like oh shit moment because he we took him in the first round. So it's like, are we preparing to move on from Aaron? And we were,
yeah,
and still are, of course, now, especially now more than ever. But of course, there's the uncertainty of, well, we haven't really seen much of Jordan these past 2 years, so we don't really know how he's going to play.
yeah. It's you're going to have to. Sorry, I'm messing with not having the gain up as high, so I have to have it closer because
Mm.
I watched our recent video and you could hear me fucking breathing through the entire thing. But I can't position this in a way to have it any closer and not be awkward. So I'm sure that sounds great as I fuck with it. But
We need a GoFundMe to get you a better microphone.
I had a good mic and it died. It just shit itself. But so that's why I'm kind of like talking like this.
Mhm.
Um, yeah. Shit. I completely lost. What did you say?
We were talking about Jordan Love and our new quarterback in the transition period of moving
Yes.
off of Aaron.
Um, I know it's funny to compare them to the Lions, obviously, but they're in a like a similar situation where they were in this like era of this guy, Stafford, and then in your case, Aaron Rodgers, and I think it's going to be a similar situation. They'll be in a better place just because they're more competent in general, but there's going to be a period where it's like, oh my god, this is the team, because like the
Yeah.
Lions, so many games I was like, this is like a high school team, bro. They were playing so bad it was funny. So
Yeah.
like it really just like it's probably just going to be an ultimate like transition period. Like
Yeah.
there's going to be like shit going on. So expect that for a couple of years probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just know
I
it's
get
temporary.
to, yeah. I get a little taste of what you and Sil have been going through being Lions and Bears fans.
Yeah.
Get a little taste of what it's like to root for a subpar team.
Mm-hmm.
But
It's yeah.
hopefully we'll be back quick. Hopefully it's not a long transition. Hopefully Jordan is great. But
Well,
who knows? Bengals won yesterday as well, which is cool. I was excited to see that.
yeah.
Uh, yeah.
I didn't pick
No,
them to win, but
yeah. I hope the whatever AFC team makes it to the Super Bowl, I hope they win. Because it Tampa Bay is about to be eliminated, and even if they weren't, fuck Tom Brady. I'm excited to see him leave playoffs and potentially the NFL. Uh,
I do
Fuck the
know. Yeah.
Rams, and of course, I'm never gonna root for the Niners. So whatever AFC team makes it to the Super Bowl, I'm rooting for them.
Nah, man. I'm picking Rams. I want Rams.
Well, you're a Lions fan, so you like
I'm
Stafford.
invested in the Rams because the Rams are living my dream right now. So
A
like,
ton of talent around Matt Stafford.
yeah, it's their team though. Like, it's I was watching a fucking video talking about the fucking Rams right now,
Hmm.
and apparently they got like this whole like stacked ass team.
Yeah,
So it's
they
like,
built a super team.
yeah, it's like you kind of have to get to the Super Bowl. I don't even care if they win. I just want them to get there
Yeah,
because it's like proof that like we had a gem at one point.
right, right.
We had a bunch of gems, but for some reason the team's just cursed, so
Yeah,
we can't
I
win.
mean Calvin Johnson, Barry Sanders.
Megatron.
You've had studs and just nothing going.
Sue.
No, fuck Sue.
You want
He's the
stomping
he's
on
one of the
people's heads?
he's one of the dirtiest players of all
Dude,
time.
I remember we were winning a game once, like by like a single touchdown, and we were like just it was like end of the game, just chill out, play slow, you know. And then fucking there was in a crucial scenario, and Sue decided to get angry and stomped on
Yeah,
the man's head. He had a
yeah.
helmet on, so nothing happened, obviously. But it was like, why would you do that?
What
And
the
then it
fuck are
caused like
you
some
doing?
chain of events that fucked us, and I was like, great, thanks.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
like one of the few games I was watching that like,
He's on the Buccaneers now, or he was last year. I don't know if he's still there this year, but I'd imagine he is.
I haven't heard any controversy from him, so they've probably reined him in, at least in some way.
Maybe.
He probably was given like an ultimatum. Hey, stop fucking around or we're gonna dock your pay.
Yeah,
He's like, fuck. I have like
yeah.
6 supercars. I need the money. My insurance is insane.
What a
The fucking
life.
payments.
The insurance.
I love that statistic. Which is it's funny to me that they just don't know how to manage their money.
Mm,
It's like most football players once they leave will go bankrupt like 10 years later
yeah,
because they buy like mansions and cars and then they're like, oh yeah, I forgot it, you have to like pay things,
yeah.
and then
I
they
like
go broke.
I like the story of the basketball player who, and I don't remember his name. So if anyone in the comments knows, feel free to let us know. Uh, he's like one of the richest like basketball players ever, and it's not because he was so talented that he got like these big super max contracts. He actually, I think he only played for like a few years, wasn't super great. But his first big paycheck, he saved up money and he like bought like locations like at like he bought like a Wendy's location or something. And
Okay.
then he kept buying up like I think it was Wendy's. It's some fast food restaurant, but he bought up a bunch of those locations and now he like owns a fuck ton of them and he's one of the richest like former basketball players of all time
He
because
kind of
he
figured it
invested.
out.
Yeah.
Infinite money glitch. Be good at a sport, and then instead of buying supercars and shit, buy a bunch of fast food places.
Just
Infinite money generator.
anything that can bring revenue back in.
Yeah, it's if you can live forever off of football player money if you just live normal.
Yeah.
Like if you got their money, right? You bought a normal house, a normal car, one car, it's all you need, or two if your family needs it.
Right.
You could live forever your rest of your life without needing to do anything else. But they
Yeah.
have to buy the mega mansion. They have to buy the
Yeah.
fast car. It's like, bro, I would min max that money, man. I would
Yeah. It's always like
optimize.
the most ridiculous shit when you see like these lottery winners who go bankrupt in a few years
It's like
because they
how?
buy like 7 yachts, 12 cars, 2 mansions, and it's like just yeah, it's
Just put it in the
m-
fucking bank.
having money is like if you have disposable income, money becomes one of the easiest things in the world to just create more money.
Yeah, the more money you have, it's the easier it is to make more of it. That's
Yeah.
why rich get richer is an idea, a concept. It's because it's easier to make money by buying things that will then generate more money. So
Yeah.
or getting into positions because of the money you have. So it's like you could so easily optimize like once you like win the lottery, even if it's not even that crazy amount, like that's you can get somewhere with that.
Yeah.
Literally buy a restaurant.
Yeah.
Staff it, buy a restaurant, and then boom, generates money. All you need to
Yeah.
do is like show up for, I don't know, corporate meetings and stuff where you have to meet with the other franchise owners. So it's like just generate money.
It should be the easiest thing in the world, but so many people just, I guess, don't fucking figure that shit out.
Well, you have to also think about it though. Like they probably don't realize they're spending it the way they're spending it. Because they're like, I have $3 million, right? Which isn't actually that crazy when modern times, but I have this crazy amount of money, right?
Yeah.
This car isn't that big of a chunk out of it. This house it's a lot, I mean, but I have this much, right? They don't think about
Yeah.
it, and then those purchases add up. You got to be like, nah, man, give me that fucking ranch style home, a Craigslist car. And then you
Yeah.
walk in, and I'll have the sickest gaming room.
Yeah.
That's what I would do. Either that or land. Buy land.
Other than a sick ass gaming room, because I think we both like we would definitely both have one of those. If you won the lottery or you got a supermax sports contract, what would be like? Is there a luxury item you would want to get?
If I had like fuck you money, like just
Yeah, if you won the
crazy.
lottery and you're like, because we've been talking about spending it smart,
Yeah.
and yeah,
If
but like,
if there's one thing though,
yeah, the
that I'll
one
like break
thing.
the rule for. Ooh, that's a good question because like I feel like
Sorry.
well, you good? You need to go somewhere?
No, I don't. I do. I'm good.
You can reining them in. Don't go up here.
No, someone yelled up and I had to respond to them.
I said that's a hard question though because I don't the way my brain works especially I don't think about things that I would want if I can't get them. So like outside of that, it's like I have no interest in cars. Outside of like that one looks cool, and even then I don't think I would buy a big fancy supercar because I would probably fucking crash it.
Right.
That even if you got fuck you money, that's still a lot. So like, I am playing with that. Like, I'll get like one of those new Broncos. I like how those look. But like, if I had to pick something, like an item of some sort, and or like house or something, I don't know. Fucking
Nice house with a pool.
no, I don't want a pool.
You don't want a pool?
I don't like swimming.
Okay.
I don't like hot tubs either.
You're a strange individual.
I am when it comes to swimming, especially. I cannot stand it.
I'm gonna bookmark that and we're gonna talk about that in a second.
What would you pick? Well, I'm thinking
Corvette Z06.
that specific. Like that's it.
It's um I'm not really I'm not a huge car person, and I
Hmm.
always I talk money with my like family and like my dad especially about like what we would do if we, really get shit figured out and start making a lot of money. And
Yeah.
I have very, very simple tastes. Like I would want nice clothes, uh, but
I didn't even think of
yeah,
that. Not even in my brain.
I would like to like I would like I'm not worried about eating like $1,000 dinners.
Me neither.
Like I would eat good. I would buy like good quality products, but like
Probably wouldn't.
I mean I when I'm cooking at least I would like buy the good cuts of meat and
Yeah, I can see
shit
that.
like that. And I'll spend a little bit of money on like a wardrobe, but I could live in a fucking like 2-bedroom apartment and be perfectly fucking fine. But
Yeah.
a Corvette Z06 is my favorite car, and to me it was always like back when I lived in Liberty, I every time I would drive to work, I always passed by this car dealership that had a Corvette sitting right out front
Hmm.
as like the big like come look at our
The one
cars
that's like on the pedestal.
kind of, but it was just outside,
Yeah.
just separate away from the other ones. Um, and the same thing here where I live now. They don't have it out right now because it's winter and they just have trucks out. But uh, they normally have a Corvette just sitting out. And I'm like, that always to me was like, that is a status of disposable income because that's the biggest thing about it is that it is a disposable income item. I don't need a Corvette. Uh,
Yeah.
I would be perfectly fine buying a fucking like $5,000 used car
Yeah.
and just being cool with that.
Hmm.
Uh, but the Corvette always was. I always saw that as like if I have enough disposable income that I could go just buy this Corvette for $100,000, like that's when I know I'm good with life in terms of wealth and money.
Yeah, I would live like I didn't have the money.
Hmm.
Knowing me especially, not even because of like I'm trying, outside of like a sick ass game room, because that's like my main interest is like I want a sick computer, like expensive computer, crazy monitor setup. That's just because I fucking sit on this thing all fucking day. So
Hmm.
might as well have it nice, right? But outside of that, I literally can't think of a single like thing I would want to buy. Like
Hmm.
I don't have one. Like I think it'd be very easy for me. This is me saying it, not having that money in my hands, obviously.
Right.
But I think it'd be pretty easy for me to just lock it in my vault, as that is my bank account, and just pay bills and live how I live now.
Hmm.
Like I don't feel like it would be that big of a problem. I would just not, and I even still would probably get a job just because I'd be bored.
Hmm.
Like I would just work some minimum wage job because obviously it wouldn't matter. And
You wouldn't just devote all your time to Halfway to Concord.
no, solely because, especially when we're recording an episode, that's an hour, like hour and a half. What else am I gonna do the rest of the day, right?
If I had like if we both collectively, because that would be the kicker of
Hmm.
like if we collectively had enough money where we didn't have to work, I would I would want to devote all that time to like writing or Halfway to Concord and like up the production in terms of like
I guess yeah.
what what we put out, hire editors so that we could get this content out on a more regular basis.
I love the idea of like we have a team, editors and stuff, and it's still like 20 views of it. It's like
That would be fucking funny.
it would because they don't care. We're paying
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
It's great. I honestly I didn't think of that. Hell, on it, if I had to pick one thing to buy, it'd be a rentable small warehouse to build a studio in.
Yeah, that'd be
That's
sick.
my one thing. And that wouldn't even be that crazy. Like that's
Yeah.
realistic post college if I get a decent paying job.
Hmm.
But like that's a cool. That's all I can really think of, because I guess not, because I can't count the gaming PC and whatever the fuck I buy, because that's a given for us. But yeah.
I think in a like, and just going on with this, because right now we do, or we try to do, weekly podcast.
Yeah.
And then we just make extra content when we can, when we're able to. I would love to get to the point where we're doing like daily uploads, like potentially multiple videos a day.
PewDiePie.
No, like fucking every fucking YouTuber whose YouTube is their job.
Yeah, or like it's like bi-weekly. I think I see very often if they're longer. He doesn't even do that anymore.
I don't know. I haven't watched him since.
I haven't watched him in years.
2010.
It's been years since I've watched anything. But
you brought him up yesterday too. What the fuck what's going on with you?
Did I? It's because he's like the YouTube guy. I don't know.
Is he?
I'm still living in like, in my brain, the internet is still in like 2013. Like that's just how I think it. Like I'm like, yeah, the YouTube giants, Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, like they're still super relevant. I mean, they are. They're still pulling numbers and stuff, but that's not like, the word around the site is like all those fucking vloggers and shit. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I forgot what we were saying before that.
Me too.
Something about frequency of uploads and stuff. I think
You're right.
Daily isn't as important as it used to be. But
I'm not worried about important for growth. I'm just meaning, yeah,
it's a lot of work to do that though. Unless we obviously would have a team at that point.
That's my like. If we have, like, listen,
if we're just talent and owners, obviously owners/talent, our jobs would be so fucking easy.
That's what I want for us. That's what I want for this. Is
fucking cheese outside of ownership job.
I want editors, I want graphic designers, I want social media managers, and I just want us to be able to clock in, play fucking video games, or like cook, like do a fucking cooking video, or just shoot the shit for a couple hours, and then just they edit it, and we clock in, hang out, clock out, probably hang out a little bit more, and then come in the next day and do it again.
That's the dream, though. That
is the dream.
I think that's the modern American dream, is becoming successful off of content creation, because it's everyone's, like, think of kids growing up watching like YouTube.
Yeah,
like, this is the new, like, picket fence nuclear family thing. Like that was the boomers version, like the generation boomer.
Yes.
Now it's like, I just need a place to live, a computer, and I hope I get successful doing whatever that is. Like, so many people know editing now. That's like, that was alien technology 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's like, because like old YouTube, there wasn't editing. It was just people from their webcams just clicking upload.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's, even the bare bones editing we do, like, that's we as a channel.
The channel, yeah.
It's like, that would be alien. Like a layout. Yeah. We'd be lucky to have video to our audio.
A layout, a thumbnail that's like custom made. What the fuck?
Yeah. I love not having to make those anymore. That was the worst part of uploading, especially because I was bad at it and I was using an in-browser software to do it. Mm-hmm. So I could just shoot a message. Hey, can I get one this week?
I remember back when I first started doing YouTube.
Speaking of.
Okay, yeah. When I remember uploading and then being like, what do you want your thumbnail to be? And it was 3 random screenshots from the video. Mm-hmm. You could choose which one you wanted to be the thumbnail. And I was like, I had no fucking clue that, like, how much went into creating a brand.
Yeah, I'm taking a social media class right now called...
Were you actually sending a message to Sil?
It's got to go up today, so... um, I'm in a social media class, and there's more thought to it than one would think. So when
Mhm.
you're a social media manager or a social media like whatever, you'll build these big packets of like plan. It's called a social media plan, and it'll be like, here's the projected numbers we think we're going to get from this. Here's a hashtag we think we're going to use. Here's the name of this campaign, right? Oh, it's think of Arby's. We have the meats, right?
Right.
That was that slogan
We have the
specifically
meat.
was agonized over forever. And any like the Wendy's Twitter shit
Mhm.
is all from like this. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. This is like people want more real stuff, right? So we're gonna kind of like start make because there's not like one person who makes those tweets, right? There's people thinking it. They have a
Right.
workshop. They're in an office room at a computer. There's one dude who posts it, but everyone's group thinking what to say, what to do. Like that's a whole
Right.
thing. And what's really cool is that Wendy's stuff. The people who came up with that campaign are based in Kansas City.
Well, that's dope.
And if you are there's a club here called Ad Inc. And they're going on a tour of their facilities,
Hmm.
which I found cool. I'm not going or anything, but
That's pretty cool, though.
they are based in Kansas City. So the people who came up with that idea, they're not doing it, but they came up with it. They pitched it to the company, and they were like, "Epic, poggers." So would
Pogger.
Wendy's? So
I'm just imagining like an 80-year-old CEO. Poggers.
no, there was no 80-year-old CEOs. Those ad agencies and those advertising like people, they're all very young. It's a new growing thing because a lot of
No,
that was done in house.
I was meaning the ad agency pitching it to the CEO
Oh,
of
to
Wendy's.
Wendy's.
Yeah.
No, the Wendy's probably sent their ad people to their ad. Like
Yes.
it's not as
I
old and
make
corporate as one would think.
I was
As I'm
making a
getting
joke.
it, yeah, I know what you're saying. Those old people are sitting at the top of the company and they have no idea what the fuck is going on 80% of the time. Like,
Nah, they're just checking their bank account numbers.
they were like, the memer. Eat spicy goodness like a boss. That is a vile commercial. It is so bad. I cannot stand that.
Yeah,
Oh, it's
it's
so
great. I love it.
terrible. Yeah, no. It's interesting. I don't even know how we got to this conversation. Talking
Me
about
neither, really.
ads and social media campaigns.
Uh, Talking about branding. I feel like
Ah,
this whole episode is very, very scatterbrained.
it is. We had to push it to today instead of we usually record Saturday, and I edit it Saturday and Sunday, and then upload it Sunday. But we had to push it back because we literally forgot. I had a packed schedule yesterday. I was out and about. I had a ton of things I had to get done. I was talking to my manager. I was working with
Yeah.
my I was working with corporate.
Yeah, we definitely didn't like play a bunch of Call of Duty and then go, "Oh shit, we were supposed to record an episode today."
Yeah.
Not. We us do that. Us forget to record an episode? Never.
No way. No way.
Hey, it's all right. The ungrateful shits in our comments are getting it anyway.
That's halfway to Concord. That's quality.
That is halfway to Concord. That is
That
quality.
if I think there's like a couple videos where that comment isn't there, and I am expecting it to appear there after this one airs, and I've pointed it out.
Well, it'll be
That's the
interesting to see.
baseline, okay?
Yeah, except I don't know if Sil will be watching this deep into the video, but hopefully.
Fake fan.
Fake fan.
This is like this is not good. Oh, we're so like just this is the audio equivalent. Like if I were to distill this whole episode, it's like that.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
just random shit being thrown at a fucking wall.
Yeah. Let's do another experiment. If you made it this far into the video,
You fucking say it again. No, we have to make them comment something.
I was going to.
Oh,
Lee,
okay.
give me time. I was gonna say, okay, what's a good thing for them to comment?
Secret number. They have to type this number
Type.
into the
Okay,
comment.
if you have watched this far, if you're listening to this right now, go to the comments, make a comment that just says it says 574, and
Yes.
that's it. That's
Nothing
it.
else. Not like
Nothing
secret
else.
number. Just this. Those three numbers.
Don't address it. Just comment it.
There we go.
Yeah.
It's our little secret. Our
It's our it's
loyal viewers who get this far. That's a little secret.
yeah.
Dude, we're not gonna see a single one. No, for real. I actually found having a little observation.
Observation. Yeah. Go ahead.
And that's even when we have topics that are super interesting. I'm talking like I was looking at our podcast, looking through earlier episodes, and then looking at
Right.
other podcasts that are like ours, where they don't have like a theme or a topic. It's like random bullshit, essentially.
Yeah.
We have a baseline level that is lower in like things we talk about. Like we'll have one topic that lasts 30 minutes.
Yeah.
No one else does.
Yeah.
At the most it's like 10 minutes, and that's long. And
Yeah.
I noticed that, and I'm like, that's probably like by design, because you got that fucking attention span, you know, the zoomers, right? And I was just,
So with us, firstly, we're over the internet. We're not an in-person podcast thing.
yeah.
We don't have a set schedule for when we actually record these. We have a general idea of we try to record on Saturday or Sunday. Sometimes we miss that, and even if we make it on one of those days, we don't have a set time that we do it. So we don't schedule it properly. We don't ever plan out topics ahead. Like we planned out topics for episode 1 and like the Halloween episode, and that's pretty much it. So we don't plan out topics. We just, we get on. The whole process of recording halfway to Concord is, are you good to record an episode today? Yeah. All right, I'm hopping on. And then we just talk for an hour.
And I think
Which is
that's our obstacle.
Exactly, yeah.
There's even a baseline level of planning is something we need to start doing. This is the self-reflection episode. This is the corporate meeting episode. But I think there's a base level of self-reflection. That's not self-reflection. A base level of planning that even just the smidge that other things do is leaps and bounds more than what we do. And we're more real. No, we're not, because the ones I'm looking at and talking about, they're not like planning things out, but they're more in tune with the goings on of the internet than we are.
Yeah.
Like they're not talking about, if they're talking about what happened to them that day or that week or something that interests them, it's a genuinely super interesting topic. Like they'll be like, oh, this homeless guy tried to rob me the other day, because they live in cities and shit. Like one of them lives in LA, and it's like, oh, well, okay, that's interesting. So like, but then most of the time it's like, oh, did you hear about this? Oh, there's a new law in relation to like internet content and credibility, or I'm just making that up, like that literally does not exist, but there's, did you hear about this guy on YouTube the other day? Like, and it's like, just because they're more in tune with the internet goings on, which is a lot of times what people go to these podcasts to look at and to listen. And I think that there's some learning we can do from that, not to like mirror it, because we're our own thing, we're original. I'm not some fucking fake-o loser, but I think there's a bit of learning to do.
Yeah, and I think the biggest issue with us and it ties back to, I'll firstly, before I get into this, I'll echo what we said in like very early episodes about how at the end of the day, we're doing this because we enjoy doing this, because we like making content. and this is something we just wanted to do for fun. We're not doing this to grow. The reason we talk about growth is because that's a natural aspect of creating content and putting it up on a public forum. And it is something that, like, yeah, if we could make this our job, that would be really cool.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we're not, I guess, submitting ourselves to the typical structure of how to grow quick on the internet.
We probably could. All we need to do, take the reins off. I'm making 3 a.m. Boss Baby called me videos. Hey, I'll be up there quick. You know how fucking easy it probably is?
It is, like, yeah, absolutely. We could be a slave to the meta.
No, I'm not a meta
but
slave.
we're not, because it's not why we're doing this.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, what we are doing is we are uploading an hour-long video every week where it's 2 random strangers on the internet just talking about shit.
Bullshit.
Just random bullshit that goes through their mind. We don't have the production quality. We don't have specific topics we talk about. All we are trying to do is sell people on us. If you like us, you will keep watching us.
Yeah.
If you don't like us, you will have no reason to keep watching us, because that's all that we really offer is us. Unfiltered, uncensored, unadulterated, just us.
Uncensored.
And
Ooh.
Drew, I'm trying to make a serious beat here, and you're just fucking it off.
Uncensored. Feet pics? When? The fuck you mean uncensored? I say fuck instead of frick. That's baseline, okay? I'll stop fucking now to continue.
I got nothing to continue with.
That was like, you had the momentum going, and I just chopped that bitch in half like a fucking ka-cha, you know what I'm saying? Ka-cha. Good lord. But what you're saying, yeah, at the end of the day, though, it's just 2 randos talking about shit very few people will hear. Or like care very much. Like, well, right now, this episode, for example, like, at the end of the day, we're just talking about shit we're thinking about, like, and like that's just like, it's essentially an excuse for me and you to hop on a video call and talk. It's essentially what it is.
Yeah,
it's just what it is, and I think there's an appeal to that. Like, to me, like, I like that whole. It feels genuine and special in my eyes. So,
yes.
I fucking destroyed your morale. You look
You
like
really
so
did.
sad.
You actually did. Like, I was trying to, like, get momentum going to make some big, serious, like, message across to, like, try to salvage an episode, and you just, like, you just killed it.
I stuck
you
a
just
stick
dragged
in
me
your
through the mud.
spokes.
And now I'm sitting here, like,
You look
should I
like
should
angry.
I try to save this, or, like...
God damn it.
You
fucking ruined everything.
I already had such low energy coming into this.
It was
anyway,
funny, though.
Was it funny?
I found it funny.
I hope it was weird.
I was laughing at my own joke, okay?
All right. Anyway, I guess the crossroads we are at now is trying to find a way to balance maintaining the purity of the content that we have created thus far, the idea that it is just the 2 of us talking about random shit, because that is what this whole thing was based off of in the beginning, and trying to maintain that while also becoming a little bit more meta.
Yeah, I think a good way for me to word how I feel about it is, at the core, I was doing some business executive decisions with a friend of mine, and it was plans that we were potentially doing in relation to his endeavors and our endeavors. That's the most I'll say about it now, because it's in the cloud, it's in the air right now. But
In the cloud.
the thing I said that I think I very much believe is, like, we may do a bunch of other things, like the verses, like the football, like gaming, like talking about news in like its own special thing. But the thing I'm grinding, the thing I'm doing, the thing I care about, like, I don't, at the end of the day, the podcast is like it. Like, even if it performs the weakest out of everything, like, that's what I want to do, because that's what I enjoy the most doing. And that's like what I'm like, that's the basket I care about. Not all my eggs are in it, but if the other ones go away, I don't care as much, because this is my basket that I care about.
Yeah.
And adhering to this meta, right? The meta. I don't want to like adhere to it perfectly, because YouTube people who do that always come off as like artificial.
Right.
But there are aspects of that, like, idea of following a meta, or essentially trying to perform better as a channel, in my eyes, isn't because I want, like, I'm desperate for it. It's because I find it fun.
Yeah.
I like the idea of, like, looking, oh, look, we've improved a little bit. I almost think of it, I've told you in DMs, it's like a video game. It feels like I'm leveling up, like I'm gaining experience. And it's, like, cool to progress. So we'd have these discussions about what we do and why we do it on these episodes so much, because we have two ideas that we stick to. And one is, we're real, we talk about what we're thinking about. And the other is, we're not afraid of growth. So we like talking about, like, how we think, how the logic behind our episodes. We're transparent about when we can't upload and stuff. And that core identity is, like, what I am attached to.
Right.
So, like, that's the trunk of the tree.
Yes.
Everything else is just a branch.
Yes. It's like, ultimately, I just want to create content that is good and enjoyable. It's Outlast. Our 3 episodes that we uploaded of Outlast. Some of our worst content in terms of views, engagements, impressions. Still, possibly my favorite thing we've done, because I watched them back and
They're
I was
funny.
like, oh, this is funny. I really enjoy this. That's at the end of the day, I just want to create good content, good solid content that I can be pleased with. And I guess now it's just, we're, like you said, doing this, being ourselves. This is the core of it.
Yeah.
This is the basket,
The identity.
and all the other metaphors that you used during your spiel. But now is the time where I want to, like, start pruning those branches, start working towards expanding upon what we already have in a way that promotes growth while still staying true to the core of what we are.
Yeah.
And it's just interesting about how we plan on doing this, because it's a very precarious thing, because we don't want to lose the, like, genuineness of the content we create, but we do want to continue. We do want to continue to grow and develop our content and engage with an audience.
Yeah, I think that's why I like podcasts so much, is because it's literally just, when you watch them, it's like you're joining in on a conversation, even though you're not saying anything. And it's a very good way to, like, it's a sample of how people think, or how people talk to each other, their relationships. Like, it's a cut into their life, like a little hour and a half, 2 hour, 3 hour, whatever, how long it is, segment of like their life and a peek into it, because it's very easy to fall into like the main character syndrome, right, where like everyone else is an NPC, you know. And that's very much not the case. So it's like, it's a very cool look into that. That's why I like it so much. Like, if we wanted to grow, we would not have picked podcasts. It's such a saturated market. It's so there's so much. Everyone and their mom has one, and it's like, no, we picked this because it's fun to do. It's cool. We both thought it'd be a good idea, and here we are. So it's these little branches we're doing. the tree like allegory there. The branches are like, that's our way of like kind of following the meta of it, chasing the meta. But like at the end of the day, it all leads back to, they're almost like advertising for our main trunk, and that's the podcast.
I think that's the perfect sort of like view of it, is Halfway to Concord, the podcast, is our main line. This is like in a comic book series, this is the Avengers like mainline series. And all of our other little content is like, oh, people like video games, so we'll do some video games. Oh, we talk about these trending topics, we'll do ranking videos. Little spin-off series that will draw people in, and because they come being attracted to the content, then they start liking us, then they start consuming more of our content, then they come to the podcast, and we can do these extra stuff in order to continue to grow without having to make the podcast something it isn't. We get to preserve the sanctity of what we wanted to create with the podcast by branching off, being a bit meta in different regards to pull people in.
Yeah, it allows us to keep our original vision intact, because I think in episode 1 we've talked about this. And if we go back to the origin, the genesis, it is and we've said it all throughout this episode, right? It's the genuine, it's the two dudes talking over Discord. If it ever leaves that, if it ever leaves that feel, that vibe, it's almost like we're breaking away too far. Over Discord is not the important part. We would love to do it in person, because it's just more fun to record those in person. I would never miss an episode in that case, because it's like I would be excited, because you can always talk over Discord, but at the core of it's just two people talking. Like, I love the idea of it, like it's two people sitting in a fucking room talking. That vibe of like just shooting the shit for an hour and a half. If it gets too corporate, almost, I wouldn't say corporate because we're not a corporate entity, but like too thought of, it starts to break away. Obviously, we could sprinkle a little of that in there. We do it now. Like, I'll be like, that's a good thing to talk about. But outside of that, like, today we're going to talk about these 6 topics. Okay, guys? So let's get on to topic 1. Like, I don't want to fuck with that. Like, that's stupid. Our structured shit comes from when we want to talk about the news. When we're doing a ranking thing. When we're, as all the other stuff you talked about.
We, as a rule of just content creation, we will always and only make content that we actively believe in or are interested in. We're never gonna fake, like, oh, did you see the news about this YouTuber who blah blah?
If I don't care, it ain't happening.
We don't give a fuck.
Especially because it'd be boring to talk about. I don't want to talk about something I don't care about. We cared about the Activision Microsoft deal, right? That's why we did that. I was excited. I was like, oh fuck, it was a big deal. So like, you're not gonna see me talking about Logan Paul's newest drama. I don't give a shit. I don't know
No,
what it is, if there is one even.
there probably is, but we don't care.
Yeah, like that's how little. So even if it's a little more, even we're gonna chase the meta, but not to that extent. Obviously,
Right.
we're talking like this is a fucking like we're pitching it to a company loaning us money. So this is why we should get 3 billion.
I agree.
Set up a
Yeah.
firm.
Yeah. So basically, we're starting a Patreon, and if you want to,
Our link is, you know, moneyforme.com.
moneyforme.com, giveusmoney.org.
Hookersandblow.com. I'm only in it. Fuck the fans.
Fuck the fans. I just want my paycheck.jpg.
It's just a picture of Keemstar. The fuck I'm next time I have a picture of Keemstar on my computer, I'm gonna label it "fuck the fans." It's the file name. I don't know why I would, but
It's funny.
yeah.
Anyway, I think we've reached a good stopping point.
You know what we didn't talk about?
What did we not talk about?
You bookmarked me not liking to swim and never came back to it.
Why don't you like to swim?
Why don't I like to swim?
Yeah.
I don't like the feeling of like when I don't like the whole ordeal when you get out of the water and stuff, and I don't like putting on special swim shorts. I don't like. I don't find it entertaining. I'm just in a big pool of water now. Like, what am I supposed to do? Go in circles? I can jump into the pool. That's fun for one time.
Right.
And the fun of the pool is when you're there with like friends. And it's not the pool, it's because you're with friends.
Right.
We could be anywhere else, not getting wet. It's just such a big ordeal when you could just, I don't know, hang out in someone's house or go, I don't know, out to eat or something. Go play, fucking hit up the arcades. I don't know. There's no arcades.
Right.
You know what I want to do, and I've never done, but ever since I was like fucking 5, I wanted to do? Take a bunch of friends to Dave and Buster's. Because of like, I don't know, I just thought it'd be fun. I came up with it when I was like 5 years old, so it's always been in the back of my head. It's not like that place is crazy cool or anything, but I don't know.
Right.
Ask 5-year-old me. But yeah, that's the only reason why. I just don't like the ordeal. I don't find it enjoyable. Were you expecting like some deep story about how I like almost drowned when I was 5 or something?
Nah. But on that note, I think this is a good place to end the episode.
Yeah, I agree.
So if you watched this far, love you. Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate it. Go ahead and like subscribe. You obviously like us, so do that. And also check out all of our branches. We got lots of shit on the channel. Any last words, Drew?
I couldn't remember the number we told them to type. I was gonna say type the number, whatever it was. And
Right.
Thanks for watching.
Well, if they watched during that part, they know. So.
Yeah. What the fuck was
All
that?
right. Deuces.
Someone almost died above me. Deuces.